Imagine being a being like Poison Ivy that can make human-plant hybrids, but there's a lot to get into. Let's get it. Did you know Poison Ivy can create her own armor using plant matter? I bet you didn't know that Poison Ivy had different forms because she's kind of half plant, half human, or more plant than human. Just look how her arm shapes and stuff here during combat. It's not canon. I thought this was cool how her arm is shaped like this, but she probably could do this in canon anyway. I mean, she can literally attach herself to a tree and use it like armor battle suit. Looking like a Swamp Thing and Wonder Woman hybrid. I mean, you got occasions like this when she attaches herself to a tree, use it in combat. Yeah, check that out. Like she can literally give herself plant-like battle armor. This is not my first time doing a video about a swamp-type character or a plant-based character. Check out my Swamp Thing video. Poison Ivy is one of those characters that walks a fine line between villain and gray area. Sometimes she's not really that bad. She do be hanging out with Harley Quinn too much though. Usually when you see her, you probably see her giving Batman a headache. Probably by the end of this video, you're probably going to wonder to yourself, how does Batman even ever win against this character? She's one of those characters, even in the earlier days, she was immune to all poisons, hence her name, Poison Ivy, you know? We're talking about a girl that even seduced Batman, but that's none of my business. I'm not going to lie, her and Batman have a lot of sexual tension, I'm just saying, because of the different abilities she has. You can get caught under her spell. When DC changes their continuity, they change up origins quite a bit at sometimes. Poison Ivy is no exception to this. Her origin got changed quite a bit to kind of fit it better in my opinion, because in this particular reality, she actually went to college. Seemed like in every reality she kind of has a decent amount of money. Studied under a man who knew more about plants than any other human being. They talk about the herbs, some Egyptian herbs. Then he fed you the poison, but for some reason you became immune to poison. Studied under a guy known as Jason Woodrue, the Floronic Man. Stuff like this is what caused her transformation. They even flash back to the stuff I already showed you. Even though they retcon a few things, she still seduced Batman in this universe. Events happen slightly differently, but she still does seductive stuff though. She's a genius. She can make plants behave like animals and make animals into plants, and I'm part plant as well. I'm the queen of the May, crowned in leaves and blossom and thorns. I am hope and beauty and truth, symbol of growth in the dark times that are upon us. I am impossible. I don't know what he gave me in those college experiments, but it killed me, killed her, birthed me. Poison Ivy. Origin slightly different, but you get an idea of her history right here. She was chilling with Floronic Man, realized the pretty poison potential within the timid and unassuring Dr. Palmer easily. She only needed the proper care to blossom, and no one else had a green thumb like Woodrue. He intended to grow easily into a human plant hybrid such as himself. He never imagined that he had planted a thing such as Poison Ivy. You want to get more information about her here. Also more information about Poison Ivy here. There's plenty of information and lore about her you can check out for yourself. I will just leave all this here right here for you if you need to look at it. Even stuff that's considered super old, I still think it's important to include it anyway. Since she's a plant-based character, if she's in an area where there's no plants, one good thing that's good about her is that she always carries vines on her. She got some, but she didn't bring an endless supply, like when it comes to her standard gear in battle throughout the years. And just because she has to fight Batman on plenty of occasions, she's tipped her fingernails in poisonous type stuff. In newer stuff, when they talk about her power, she's explained to be more plant than human, so she's changed a lot. You know how plants need water and all that good stuff? She kind of needs that stuff too, because she's more plant than human now. She's like literally immune to pretty much anything. So in Arkham, when they said all that stuff, it was definitely true. Not even the almighty Joker Venom can do anything to her. Talking about resistance. Even stated here to be immune to all poison, so it's very consistent with her lore. She can make truth serums or love potions. There's even times where her touch can be corrosive to your skin. Simply her blood can eat through vines. You actually got to worry about punching her. She might burn you on contact. Even older stuff, they even talk about how her touch is deadly. She can control the toxins in her bloodstream to where her kisses can be fatal, each stated right here. Not even aliens are safe. She can poison them too. Remember how I mentioned the poison in her nails? Yeah, take out an elephant with just the poison in her nails. Has enough deadly toxin running through her veins to kill over 1,000 men. She's one of those characters to where if you ever kiss her, you have to be worried. That's kind of like her signature attack. Like either kiss kill you or a kiss hallucination. Even if she kisses you on the cheek, you still might die. Even cause paralysis with a kiss. Yeah, I would say just, I know it's hard for us men, but you guys gotta hold back your urges. She's actually pretty freaking smart. When it comes to botanical type stuff or plant type stuff, she got hired at Star Labs. Yeah, I know it's hard to imagine Poison Ivy as a businesswoman. She can understand problems of stuff with just looking at it once. All her plant research puts Alec Holland's research to shame, aka Alec Holland. There's plenty of cases of people misinterpreting stuff and she has to correct them because she's smart. She's not afraid of making hybrids of stuff, you know? Can like basically make her own minions to fight, basically. She genetically engineered mind controlled plants. There are a lot of characters that are resistant to stuff. There's a difference between resistance and immunity. Poison Ivy is actually one of the characters that's actually immune to poison. Immune and resistant are different. Resistant means it takes a lot of something to even affect you or whatever. But immune, it's like it don't matter how much of that. It's just completely immune to that substance. I mean, she developed her own mind-controlled drugs. She can technically just give you superpowers. When she started working with Harley Quinn, for example, nursed her back to health, even gave her something or a potion to give her immunity to toxins or resistance, and also increase her physical stat. So it's like she can just give out superpowers. I know it's hard to believe. They also give you an idea that she has average, at least, hand-to-hand combat ability. And when it comes to origin here, she grew up in Seattle in this particular continuity. She found solitude in plants and flowers. She ended up going to college. She held her own decently in like hand-to-hand with Batman. Notice her kicking, even landing a kick on Batman here. Something you would not expect from this character like this. You gotta love the Golden Age old school comic logic. She got the magic lasso from Wonder Woman and made herself knock herself out with her own lasso. That's funny and goofy and probably wouldn't happen in modern times. Using her plants in the middle of combat as well, like taking out a whole bunch of creatures at once with her plant manipulation. Cartel thugs don't stand a chance. She's one of those characters where she can beat you from far away. Even this occasion was Zatanna, one of the mightiest magicians in DC, wrapping her up. You got more information about her hand-to-hand here. To really get an understanding of how strong she is, though, is her plants. What's the things she can lift up with her plants? Who are the beings she can restrain with them? What's the stuff she can destroy with her plant power? And just the energy in general she can produce with her plants. And talk about using her plants as weapons, knocking out Catwoman. Tosses Harley aside with her strike. She doesn't need big vines to rip through brick walls. They can even sling cars at Batman. If you're a street tier with no weapons, man, that's an L. She's strong enough to catch and hold a helicopter with her vines. Joe can Harley get the heck out of my way. She can rip through asphalts. Large rocks she can sling, or just simply hold them up with her strength. She can strike with her plants to create a decently sized crater like that. Rips up a room with vines. Of course, she can rip through air vents. Yeah, she be hanging with Harley a lot. Big old blimp she could take care of. A being that was giving Catwoman some major issues. Guess what happens when Poison Ivy comes into play, manhandling them. Don't mess with her. Characters like Catwoman that have shown super soldier type feats in the past, she chokes her out. There was these small wooden buildings she can take care of. She can use her vines in convenient ways to control somebody by wrapping them up in roots to make them shoot somebody they don't want to. In raw destructive power with these plants, I would say, she's definitely stronger than your average super soldier, being able to rip through vault doors or simply crushing a large stone golem. Look how destructive these plants can be. Like, dude, she can make vines and plants as big as the buildings, wrap up the buildings, and even lift the buildings up in the air. You know, buildings can weigh up to hundreds of thousands of tons, y'all. And she should be able to lift over hundreds of thousands of tons. She even used her vines to stop a building from falling. So yeah, then there's that. It's implied she can take on an army. She's strong enough to eat into the city's foundation. Big stuff like that she can grow. Can cover Arkham Asylum in vines. More buildings get demolished by her vines. It's obvious. More buildings getting destroyed, taking over a whole building, big plants like that. Bro, this building didn't stand a chance. If you want to talk about rebirth content, they compare her to the likes of Swamp Thing when it comes to just pure connection, at least to the plants and stuff. I mean, imagine just walking in a park one day and just says, I want to use all these plants in the environment to create myself a gigantic fortress on the spot that covers all this mass. When she's super pissed off, she can destroy multiple buildings. Her vines can even grow to stop a running train. I think we all can agree she was pretty nerfed in Arkham Knight for good reason. Do some damage to Hal Jordan. You gotta love these old comics. Thanks to plant quills, porcupine, okay. She has to take on big plant creatures like this, so she has to be able to defend herself. She can do hacksy horror movie stuff to you like this, bruh. In the pre-crisis days, she was strong enough to ensnare Wonder Woman temporarily with her vines. She has vines that can crush an entire building, even in older stuff. She has spores that can threaten the Flash back in these older days. You can't really sleep on her, no matter which era that we are currently talking about. She can transfer her consciousness to plant life if she has to. You guys know how pre-crisis writing can be. She made a plant monster that was giving an old school Wonder Woman some serious issues in a one-on-one fight, even making Wonder Woman sleepy for a sec. She has a history of restraining different beings, like Harley Quinn on multiple occasions, or just restraining Catwoman. The Batman himself she's restrained. Even their vehicles like the Batwing, She's restrained Cassandra Cain Batgirl, another Super Soldier tier character, Tim Drake. Even in older stuff, she's always restraining Batman. Temporarily holds Superboy for a little while. She even hit Nightwing hard enough to crack the ground here with her vines. I mean, she's kind of like in the Batman Rogues gallery, so it makes sense for her to have these feats with the Bat family. It would be weird if she didn't. Black Lantern, Black Mask, she's able to kind of restrain in this particular occasion with Harley Quinn. You're probably thinking she's not that powerful. Just put her on place where she's nowhere near no plants. She's never defenseless. She can just fire wooden darts out of her hands. She can literally force plant growth, guys. They even said this island has nothing but rock and bird dropping into this year. Now, this is just straight up hacksy. She can control the flora in your digestive tract to make you throw up or sick to a powerhouse tier. She grew one forest with plants from all over the world. Different places that have different plants in certain sections of the world, she put them all in one forest. So yeah, just putting on her in an abandoned place ain't gonna cut it. So you already know she's strong as crap with her plants mixed in with her combat. She's not afraid to actually kick you or punch you as well. But is her reflexes and stuff just as good as well? You get an idea of her speed, of how she's able to sprout stuff before Batman can even react that well. I mean, if she was slow, how come all these characters keep getting tagged by her and can't just avoid her attack? They're fast enough to block bullets as well. Notice how bullets can't just shoot through it. So, oh my goodness, how can her plants be the threat when you can just shoot through them? Well, they have issues shooting through them. Notice how Catwoman was blitzing her here. She still reacted. A good way to understand her fighting speed is how this Batarang was this close to her. She was able to grow a tree that fast instantly to block it. I mean, it just makes sense when it comes to the Bat family members being Super Soldier tiers. She has no problem reacting to the Super Soldier tiers. She's not really a glass cannon because if you somehow miraculously are able to hit her, it's not an instant KO. Even Clayface, disguised as Batgirl, yeah, that's actually Clayface, not Batgirl. She's actually able to take attacks from, hey, Supergirl, how you doing? She's even able to take beatings from a vine. Donna Troy, a nigh Wonder Woman tier. She's just not instantly KO'd against. Batarang to the face. A kick from Cassandra Cain. Her survivability is crazy. Even when she was being dehydrated by an industrial strength dehydrator created for removing moisture from hundreds of plants at once. Yeah, this is when they tried to contain her. She can be contained. Bruh, she survived naked. In temperatures confirmed to be 50 below zero, large explosions like this she can endure. Even buildings blowing up, she can survive. No, she's really a threat because she can generate a large amount of plants instantaneously. She could solve world hunger because she can create a whole bunch of food on the spot. Bruh. Look at all this mess she can just do. This little small plant, she can make it this big. She can just cause a cactus to grow really abruptly to put out a fire. Can make fruits for a meal instantly. Can grow vines to cover the entire town in Smallville. She can create stuff in the air to drug her foes. She can do the same thing to attract a swarm of insects. She can grow plants that metabolize the toxins in the gas and render it harmless. She can untoxic something. Not to mention she can just generate her own knockout gas. She can produce it in different ways, even from her hands. She drugged the Riddler for weeks. Can generate truth serum like a drug. I briefly mentioned this earlier, but when it comes to hybrids, she can make plants and creature hybrids and put them together to serve her like a goddess, basically. She even made her own horse out of vines, for Pete's sake. And even mice, plant hybrids. She can make constructs out of plants, like making this plant punch. She can create a plant that can produce acid to eat away. It's this pitcher plant on steroids. It'll keep digesting him even as his ring keeps bringing him back. Talking about suffering. This is the occasion with Black Lantern, Black Mask, with Harley Quinn. She can create her own traps. She can create man-eating plants. Made a plant that can control anybody that decides to inhale the fumes. She can not only grow fruit to eat, but she can actually make her plants throw the fruit so hard at you to where it's actually like a weapon. She can make decoys to fool you. She can change her skin color to make herself look human, like I showed in her business outfit. Throw spikes like that. Can communicate through plants. Look at her face. Let me answer the elephant in the room. As you know, Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy have a lot of similarities. You're probably wondering, how does all this stuff relate to the green and all that good stuff? As you guys know, Swamp Thing is literally a plant. She can sense the green type stuff. I mean, she can even feel the pain of the grass as it's cut. She can sense if somebody kills her plants. Can essentially read the mind of plant-based sentient type beings. Yeah, she's deeply connected to the green. Just chilling in a park one day, she can sense all the activity that's going on in the park. If she decides to focus and meditate real hard, she can focus through the green in a way. She can kind of see everything that's going on in the entire city. One can even say she's stronger based on the environment she's in currently. Like, for example, it would be like fighting Sandman in the desert. That's something you wouldn't want to do. It's like fighting poison ivy in a planet filled with plants or something. That's something you might not want to do. It would just amplify her. It would be like Superman sun dipping, right? Of course, she can release pheromones that can literally control people. Yeah, her pheromones actually work on women, not just men. That's funny. She can influence her men to shoot her own partners if she really needs to. Controlled Superboy on this occasion. Name people like Count Vertigo she controls. Controls Batman for a period of time. With the aid of kryptonite lipstick, of course, she can do this on her own. She controls Superman with her plants mixed with her kryptonite lipstick. Ha! Don't you love the plant decoys, though? Yeah, these vehicles never stood a chance against her. Hack's way of killing somebody. Plants being grown from their throat. Like, bro, what? Yeah, the Harley Quinn show. Let me stop. I mean, she be making her own fortresses. This ain't no small piece of work. She even made it a convincing disguise for Batgirl. She can even heal other people from their wounds or diseases. There was even a point she had multiple personality shenanigans stuff. Since she's kind of more plant than human, she has ridiculous regeneration, like getting her arm cut off. She can just get a new one. It's a common thing in DC for Super Soldier Tears to be able to dodge bullets. It's no surprise that she should be able to do something similar, at least, when it comes to fighting speed. At the end of the day, guys, all of this stuff about Poison Ivy could be just me. How strong do you think she is? Do you think she's scarier than you imagined? Did they nerf her in Arkham? I think they did. She's extremely versatile. She's serious issues for the street tiers, especially if she could just make you throw up from inside of your body. Not to mention there's plants everywhere to where you're basically never safe. Even if there's no plants, it don't really matter. She can make plant minions, fuse her body with the plants, and fight you in battle armor anyway. Yeah, she's just dangerous like that. And her range can expand throughout the entire cities. I wouldn't even argue if somebody tried to say she was a medium powerhouse tier, based on how much destructive ability she has with plants and from a far range she can use. But that's none of my business. But what do you guys think? Do you think she's a force to be reckoned with? I want to hear you guys' thoughts below, but I also got to give a quick shout out to those that have took the time to donate to the channel. Helps out a lot, believe it or not. Respect Poison Ivy. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.